Hey, it's Bubba Hutchison, your Coastal Virginia realtor with Howard Hanna. Just wanted to talk to you for a few minutes today about some ways that you can gain an advantage when you're trying to buy in this crazy market. You know, right now, a lot of buyers, they've got their heads down, they've almost given up. They go, how can I possibly compete with so many other people when there's so few houses to buy and so many other buyers out there? Here's a couple of tips for you. So you're already working with a lender. I'm sure they've told you, hey, set aside as much cash as you possibly can, especially in certain price ranges. It really can give you an advantage over the other buyers, especially in your lower price ranges, because first-time home buyers don't tend to have a lot of cash on them. So the more you can set aside, that can really look great in what you can offer from a seller's perspective. And when you're competing against 5 other offers that are all practically the same, the more cash you can guarantee, better it looks. Nowadays, when there's more buyers than there are sellers, the closing costs are gonna have to be paid for by the buyer. Talking about the buyer's closing costs. In a normal market, where you've got as many buyers as you've got sellers, the seller is normally willing to contribute money to pay for your closing costs, because a buyer's closing costs are normally 3% of the sales price. That's a good chunk of change. So if a seller can help you out with that, awesome. But in this market, they don't have to. There's a ton of buyers out there. So you're gonna have to pay for that. That's on top of your down payment. So you gotta make sure you've got the cash set aside for that, okay? So that'll help you out though, because there are still some buyers out there who need the sellers to help them. You'll be better than those guys because you're gonna have your own. Then there's gonna be a lot of situations where you're gonna end up, if you really want this house, offering more than what the listing price is. Well, then you've gotta say, well, if I'm gonna do that, I need to be prepared to back that up with some cash in case the house appraises for less than what you offered. Because if it appraises less than what you offered, well, guess what? Your lender is only gonna lend you the amount that it appraises for. So if you wanna stand out against another offer, you can offer some more and then say, hey, I'm willing to give you this much in cash if the appraisal comes in below this sales price. You see it happen all the time now, and quite frankly, 9 out of 10 winning bids are because of that appraisal gap guarantee. So keep that in mind. One other thing to keep in mind as well is that home inspections always are something that buyers want to have done. I mean, myself as an agent, I'm gonna totally recommend to all of my buyers, you gotta get an inspection done. But in this market, one way to stand out, and you see it happen all the time now, is say, I want a home inspection, but it's for informational purposes only. I'm not gonna ask the seller to do any repairs. That is something that makes a huge difference nowadays. So if you can put yourself in that position where you have cash to guarantee a higher price that you might give, and you're willing to say, hey, I'm gonna have a home inspection done. It's for informational purposes only, meaning you can still get out if there's stuff in that home inspection that scares you. But at the same time, you're telling those sellers, hey, I'm not gonna ask you to fix anything. You get the best of both worlds. You're probably gonna get the house, and you're still gonna have the contingency to get out if you see something that scares you. So there you go. Those are some tips on how to buy in this big market we're in right now. And appreciate you watching, and I will see you next time.